Hey guys, welcome back. It's time to take a look at a game store that just can't stop scamming, allegedly. So we have today much.toy.station, Zang Feng, English name Elijah Feng, who's been doing a whole lot of naughty things. So today we're going to take a look at it. Yes, it is extra funny when the scammers are following you and you're going to make a video. Maybe he saw it coming. Maybe he did. Regardless, here's the Facebook profile for the store in question, and here is some Asian socials. He's all over those as well. All right, we have swapping PSA card submissions on customers, card altering, trading the fake PSA 10 Rayquaza on Bear Swap. You guys remember that one a year ago. Stealing credit card information from customers and from someone's house. Selling resealed packs, and I'm sure the list goes on and on. Today we're going to cover what we can. There is just a damning amount of evidence that leads me to believe that this individual is guilty. All right, we got a nice little clip here. He is confronted. Unfortunately, it's in Mandarin, so if you don't know Mandarin, you're just going to have to take a look at the body language here. He's being accused of swapping cards from a PSA card submission. Be careful with PSA card submissions. Avoid middlemen if you can do it. Submit them yourself. Just even if you don't get scammed there, multiple shipments, multiple hands, you're increasing the likelihood of getting scammed. Do it yourself. Do it directly. Less links in the chain, less points points of failure.
对啊，那同一批回来，我现在想要的是拼车，你包括现在这个东西出问题了之后，我怎么相信我给你这么多卡？鬼龙是2张最贵的卡，
它都出问题了，
出问题了，小的卡我们怎么能确定？
小的卡，
你说包括这3张退，你说3张那个退下来，因为我问过孙老师了，孙老师说 Team Rocket 那边他给别人评，每个客人是
都会标记一个客人，
比如说。
All right, there you have it. Absolute confrontation. I get it. We can't understand it, but what we can understand is the amount of damning evidence we're about to get through. Thank you very much to Jesse and Justin, who reached out to me with the information, the stuff they put together. Justin here being the victim who had their cards swamped by Zhang. All right, let's get into the juice. Hey guys, this is Justin's statement, Justin's write-up that he has done on the matter here. It says, hey guys, wanted to make this post to raise some awareness for the community, as well as share my experiences of how ridiculous the hobby has become. I recently fell victim to a card swap scam that was done at a local card shop here in Richmond, British Columbia. The notorious shop is called Much Toys, trading cards and Asian Disney plushies. All right, things started out on December 28th, 2024, as my wife wanted to purchase some plushies, and we found out that they also provided grading service. We graded 17 cards with them, and they seemed really genuine and provided careful feedback for each of our cards. Boy, were we wrong. So here's the submission in question here. Here are the cards that were submit. We got quite a bit of dollar value there. And yes, this is prime for bad actors to swap these things out along the process. And where this is a submission that is not going directly from even the game store to PSA, they're going to another submitter who seems to be an innocent party in this ordeal. Tough stuff. So I don't know if Zhang here is banned from PSA, but after this video and after they get their hands on what is the information provided, there's a good chance he will be. On March 6th, 2025, we had our first batch come back, which included 4 cards, Gengar, Rayquaza, Leafeon, and Glaceon, 3 of them being PSA 10. We were pretty happy and couldn't wait for the rest of the submission. Next, on April 18th, 2025, the store contacted us and told us the rest were back as well. There was a situation and it was best for us to come in person. When we arrived, we saw that there were 3 cards rejected by PSA for altering. This was extremely weird, as all the cards we sent were fresh from our personal collection. We didn't think too much at the time and thought it may have been a PSA issue. Following that, we looked at our submission. 2 Giratinas had the score of PSA 9, but with different cert numbers. It was strange, but we were in a rush and our newborn was crying. So again, we didn't think too much or took our time to evaluate each card. The store owner suggested that we keep one of the Giratina with them to do a resubmission, and we obliged. We took home the rest of the cards along with the other Giratina as well as the 3 rejected singles. Uh-oh, where do you think these 3 rejected singles came from? Spoiler alert. The altered card mentioned here were likely altered by Zhang himself, and we'll touch on that in this video. After coming home, we had the chance to carefully examine the cards. From a force of habit, I had taken front and back photos of each card prior to the submission, and no way that Giratina was the same one I had submitted. Furthermore, all of the slabs had 104XX cert numbers, except the Giratina PSA 9, which started with 102. We got some problems there. It was strange after looking up sales dates and other people's submission returns around the same time. Then the conclusion was made that my card had been swapped. I looked through countless marketplace and group listings for any post with the same cert number. Finally on eBay, I found it being sold in January. And we got a nice little post here by Much Toys that shows the 2 Giratinas. So he gets a little post heavy. He gets a little post hungry. He posts fucking everything in existence. And guess which post is missing? You guessed it, is that one. So here we go. Their submission post, which had the 102 cert Giratina clearly visible in the photo. Oopsie doopsie, a la choopsie. I was shocked and worried because if this was swapped, then my other cards may have been swapped as well. There's a very good chance. If they're going to scam somewhere, they're probably scamming somewhere else. I contacted the store to stop the resubmission of the other card and for him to take a photo for me. My conclusion further confirmed when the other cert was 106XX. Again, I was able to find a sale record on eBay. I learned earlier that Much Toys does not grade themselves, but rather use a third party, and I was able to find mutual friends with that third party. After explaining the situation, I acquired the 2 cert numbers and also found out that both my cards were not only PSA 10s, but also sequential. It's weird how they probably would be if you're submitting them in that order, that they'd be right next to each other and they would be sequential certs. So, terrible scammer here. Yet you would think if you're going to swap something out, you would do it beforehand, but again, not the brightest. Scammers are not great at scamming. They're going to get caught. They get greedy. They get stupid. They get caught. The following day, I confronted the store owner and he denied any claims that they were swapped, only confessing that he had mistakenly given my cards to someone else who had the coincidence of submitting 2 Giratinas. At this point, I was sick of the BS and told them to provide me with the guy's information or any sort of record. He soon took back his word and told me he had spread out my cards over 3 submissions and that the 2 Giratinas were given to him by someone else. Not a good look when you can't keep your story straight. Lost for words, he finally proposed a resolution to reimburse me for the 2 cards at PSA 10 comps based on March 8th, 2025. At that point, we had no other option but to accept, but I wasn't finished with my investigation, nor was I willing to let the scammer roam free. Good on you. Even if you're made whole, it's best that you spread the word so that other people don't get ripped off. You're lucky that you've noticed. Somebody else might not. I concluded that he probably thought I was new to the hobby and it was my first submission. Why else would someone not grade high-value cards themselves? So he could take advantage and pull off the scam without me knowing. This disgusts me that someone with a physical card shop would willingly manipulate and defraud new enthusiasts to the hobby. People are gross. People will do gross things. It's unfortunate. There's a lot of it that goes on. Where there's money, there's bad people. There are lots of good people too. It takes a lot to prove that you're a good person. Many years before people should trust everything you're doing. You would think being associated, tied directly to a store that you own, would be at least a slight incentive to not be scamming people, but the scams just keep going. Things took a turn during the Toronto Sports Expo, where the 2 sequential PSA 10 Giratinas had shown up. A Vancouver card shop owner had traded the 2 Giratinas to my friend, who also happened to be there, and when he posted, I noticed the certs confirming they were the swapped slabs. After asking my friend, he contacted the card shop owner in Vancouver, who acquired it during a trade in Vancouver. Now I had narrowed it down that it was traded and not in Much Toys possession anymore. Sure wasn't. So you guys might remember this video. This little juicer here, Rayquaza Gold Star Slips by Veriswap. We're going to have to update the title now that we know the full name of the individual who was scamming. Absolutely unreal. It all comes full circle here. This person should have been named and shamed back then. Unfortunately, we did not have all of the information to do so. But knowing now who it is, where it is, how they're set up, and that they keep on scamming, even after getting caught, there's no changing. You had your chances. And I'm sure there's tons of things that have happened that I didn't cover. If you interacted, transacted with this individual, go back, take a look at what you have. Did you get scammed? Do your best to gather that information. If you have important information such as that, tag me, at me in my general chat of my Discord, and just let me know that there's something urgent. My DMs are absolutely botched, so I can't get to everything, and I certainly can't get to it right away. But if you let me know, hey, I got scammed by Zhang, let me know. So what we're going to take a look at here is also confirmed by Raymond at Veriswap. Whew, baby. The variety of scams, too. This is a whole variety pack. After telling my story to some friends within the hobby, some shocking facts came to light about their store. Turns out they were notoriously involved in a fake PSA 10 Gold Star Rayquaza trade for a Crystal Charizard PSA 10 conducted on Veriswap a year prior. I was able to get in contact with Alex PTCG, victim of the scam, and confirmed the details, or some details, I guess. Upon further investigation, we managed to locate the source of the fakes to a version of Chinese eBay. We verified with the seller of the listing that Much Toys did in fact purchase a fake PSA 10 Gold Star Rayquaza from them for 28 Canadian dollars, and the address was associated with their store in Richmond, BC. Whew, you can't, please, scammers, continue to be dumb. The certs even match identically, further cementing the case. So, I mean, the cert is probably the same cert on all the ones that they print, but if they confirmed that, voila, this guy shipped this shit to his store, and then he traded it on Veriswap to try and pull one over, try and get a little free Crystal Charizard action, you got caught. This wasn't Much Toys' first rodeo. Their business model is pretty reliant on scams. After this, more victims reached out, and I learned that they also illegally obtained credit card details, swap slabs, and possibly even are selling fake unlicensed Disney and Sanrio plushies. That doesn't surprise me. I don't know anything about Disney or Sanrio plushies, but maybe somebody in the comment section does. At the time of the post, Much Toys had not responded to my confrontation via Messenger. I am deeply agitated and enraged that there are people like this who are the real definition of cancer for this hobby. Please stay away from the store nor support their unethical actions. If you're also scammed or have conducted business with them in the past, please feel free to reach out, as I have a group with countless victims from their scams. Stay safe and happy collecting. So this is one of those instances where you, the viewer, anyone that's in that area, need to warn anyone and everyone possible that this guy is going to, he's going to scam you. The likelihood of him scamming you is real. All right, we're going to get into more juicy details, but before we do, I'm going to stop and do a little pit stop here at the link tree. The best way to support the channel is not to send me money. I would rather you guys buy something that you want, buy something that's good value, buy something where you're not going to get scammed. All right, we got PSA Pikachu, we got Sakura's Card Shop Card Market. Now, in this market, you can either pick up product in the Discord. It's a pretty good way to do so. You got to hit the notification. You got to click it right away. It's got to be a big restock. But if you can't, if you're looking for something else, if you're looking for better value, even opening packs is not good value. If you're looking for better value, you can go to places like Card Market or wherever else you want to shop for your Pokemon singles. Avoid the stuff that's the new hotness that everyone wants, that's still going to be printed, that still more are going to be opened. Be careful with that stuff. But a lot of the older stuff is good value at the moment. Even in this crazy market, everyone seems to want the stuff that's on the shelf in the packaging more so than they want the singles. And the singles are always better value, especially when they're not the focus. They're not playable. They're not the focus that everyone wants to collect. The new shiny thing will come out and replace it. Don't you worry. What else we got? Bai. Be careful on Bai. You can shop in Japan. You can buy from reputable sellers. If you're not buying from reputable sellers, make sure you do your due diligence. And if you're buying from somewhere that does not have buyer protection like a Mercari or a Yahoo Japan, just be careful when you do so. Nice little coupon if you sign up with that link, and makes them more likely to work with the channel here. We did some painful openings where we bought from almost certainly scammers, and we got absolutely duped to the extreme. Catch 'em all collectibles, get your free $25. Rip and ship is not a good value. They do auctions, but Rip and ship is not a good value to begin with, but at least do it with someone trustworthy that isn't going to scam you on top of the bad value. Collector app for tracking your collection. We got discount codes for the stuff that I use and recommend. We got links for you can click on them before you shop, and it'll give a kickback to the channel here. Much appreciated. Thank you guys. Now, next up, we have Zhang's Red Knot profile, where he asks to be trained on altering cards. Oh my goodness, could this be where those altered cards came from that were passed off to a customer? No way, right? No flipping way. Good thing we have Google Translate here. We can give it a little zoom in. It's going to be hard to read regardless. If you want to learn how to manipulate your card, want to learn, especially the American version, I can't stand it. It's all white when it comes out. Talking about whitening on the side of the cards. And the tutor, the card altering tutor. Reminder, altering cards without disclosing it to the person that's buying them from you is fraud. It doesn't matter if you send it to PSA. That's a different type of fraud because you're defrauding PSA, and then if you get it back and it's not altered and you're just going based on that, that's fraud to the consumer as well. Double fraud. Indentation, big and small sides, I guess centering, so trimming cards here, warped edges, all can be taught. And we got the nice little, I want to learn too much about card repair recently. And I know what you're saying, Rattle, how do we know it's him? And we're going to get to that right now. So we have the much.toy.station post here, and you can take a look at the background. We got some very distinguishable details and items in the background. It's funny that they got cameras set up here. It would be a total shame if someone stole from the scammer, right? So you're worried about a scammer protecting himself from thieves. Interesting. Now, here is the nice little Caterpie image and the account in question. And you can see here, it's the same items in the background. It's in the shop. And you're like, Rattle, what if it was just somebody else taking a same picture in the shop? What's going on there? How would it be? How do you know? And a good thing, we got his grimy little scammer hand in the photo with that wedding ring. And here we go. Look at that. We got the much.toy.station. We got, this is his scammer hand. And he does the same pose. He holds them the same way with his grimy scammer hands. I guess sometimes he puts them down on the table. Regardless, here's an announcement made by Zhang in his group chat. And I know what you're saying. Rattle, how are we going to read that? Man, technology. We can hit it with the Google Translate images. And we'll take a little look-see here. This is interesting. Interesting statement. Again, he's like, it's one of those serial scammer kind of statements, in my opinion, where he's going to bullshit you and claim that, oh, they got it wrong. They got it wrong. Same with like, oh, Rattle, I used to like your videos, but now you're making one about me. I followed you on Instagram. How dare you? To all our dear guests, as things, we're giving them the French cowboy. For anyone that doesn't like it, tough shit. For anyone that does like it, here's a little treat. As things have developed to this point, I, as the card area manager, also need to make some decisions for my mistakes. All these mistakes have nothing to do with other or the store. It is my personal mismanagement. I will resign from the management. Starting today, the store will no longer sell Pokemon card products. I am very grateful and thankful to all customers who have supported and helped us. I will gradually remove all Pokemon products from the store. Thank you all. No, you need to stop scamming in general. I don't believe that you're not doing it somewhere else. You need to go to prison, I guess, is kind of the solution to this. You need some charges pressed against you. You need to be absolutely removed from selling in general. Go fuck yourself. Go press some license plates. Do they do that anymore? All right. So, and then on top of that, it seems like he's posing as a manager who is to blame, but that's not the case because Jesse here says his shop is tiny, literally just him and his wife, so there is no card area manager. Who would have thought? Again, try and make up a fake employee that can take the blame. All right, we have more from Jesse here. He says there's actually a lot more to it as well. Feng was invited to a friend's place. Then the host found out that his credit card was stolen and the charges were billed to Veriswap. So not only did he scam on Veriswap, but he also scammed on Veriswap using someone else's credit card. His stolen credit card. Allegedly, according to Jesse and the person that had their credit card stolen. Then we found out it was the penalties applied to his account for the Rayquaza scam. He took a picture of the friend's credit card and linked it to his Veriswap account. So this is why Veriswap, I wish that more of these companies would like name, shame, blame, and just absolutely make sure. They got to be very careful that bad actors are not using their platform the same way that the grading companies should be doing that instead of CGC who's working with them. Not to say that any of them are not guilty of something at some point in time, but there's like ignorance and, you know, oh yeah, he's not going to scam on the platform. And then there's like directly partnering with scammers, known scammers in the card hobbies. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to blow up in your face. It might be oh yeah, you're going to make a ton of money. Your submissions are going to look fucking badass because you're going to have so many of them. But the price you're going to pay is your reputation, and that's the biggest thing. That's my biggest thing when I'm criticizing these companies. Do your absolute best to make sure the customer has a safe experience, especially with Veriswap. The purpose is to have safe trades, and you're charging for it. You need to be so on top of the ball with who's scamming, who it is, who shouldn't be allowed to use the platform. Double checking, triple checking that the cards received are authentic, everything of that sort. And when somebody like this has been scamming everyone, and this is a year ago, maybe not as much information came out at that point in time. This should be like an immediate, hey, warning guys, this guy's trying to trade fake cards. Oh, absolutely ridiculous. More people came forward and mentioned that their credit cards had fraudulent activity linked to Much Toys as well. And then we have a nice little screenshot here of Matthew Pipon, who says, also, 2 of my credit cards used in the store were used for fraudulent activity in the months following my visit. Now that I think of it, had to cancel both. So warning, if you used a credit card at the store, be careful. Be very careful. You might want to even just get a new one. You might just want to cancel the card, get a new one, just to be safe so you don't have to deal with the hassle with the credit card fraud situation. Sucks that you have to do that. Sucks that you can't trust a store, especially it's not like some low-level employee or management guy, inventory management, what did he call it again? It's the owner of the fucking store. And bad enough that you're stealing them from the workplace, but someone's going to invite you over to their house and you're going to steal their fucking credit card and use it for fraud. Fraud on top of fraud. Double fraud. Triple fraud. Jesus. All right. So what do we got here? We have Zhang allegedly sold this person resealed packs. Now, did he buy them resealed? The information here kind of indicates that he probably did it himself because he's blaming a source, but they look like they came from multiple sources. We have Josh Barton, who says, that's crazy. I had a strange experience with them as well at their Stuyvesant location last summer. I bought a bunch of sleeve Paldea Evolve boosters from them, and they all ended up being resealed with hot glue. Like, you're scamming Paldea Evolve, dude? I went back last summer. Paldea Evolve last summer, scamming that shit? Allegedly? I went back to the shop next day, and they refunded me, so I didn't make much of a fuss publicly. They had that's the thing too, is the fact that even mediocre scammers are always going to like make it right with the people that catch on to them being scammed so that they can continue to scam. Arjun Dillon, one of the biggest scammers of all Pokemon history, he had 100% feedback on eBay because he just played dumb. He played dumb whenever someone was caught on to him scamming, and he was like, oh, I got scammed too. I'm also a victim. They had blamed their supplier, typical. I didn't really believe them, but wanted to give a local business the benefit of the doubt. All the packs had different price stickers from retail shops, so it was extra suspicious. So they probably came from multiple locations. He probably was opening those bitch bastards and resealing themselves. All right, we have an Elijah post here. We're going to go through it. It's going to be bullshit. Prepare for it. In my opinion, it's going to be bullshit. Much Toys, and we're going to end with a French cowboy. To all trainers and collectors, dear friends, the current situation is not what I had hoped for. This matter is unrelated to the store and is purely a personal issue. I deeply regret and apologize for my previous actions. Like, this is the most bullshit circle talk you could possibly provide. So it's like, no, it's directly related to the store. The scams happened in the store, and were addressed to the store, and were you and your wife, and I would imagine that your wife probably knows what's going on. Like, unless she's just got the blinders on and you're somehow scamming her as well, you might have some explaining to do if she watches this video. Today, I may have to bring my Pokemon journey to an end. Good. See you later. Fuck off. Which fills me with profound sorrow. Jesus Christ, dude. Throughout this journey, I have never anticipated forming so many meaningful bonds, and I am immensely grateful to everyone who has supported and helped me along the way. No, you're not. You fucking scammed them. I will remove all Pokemon-related products from the store and personally step away from the community. Whether the accusations against me are true or baseless, I must now bear them alone. What the fuck are you talking about? If they weren't true, if it wasn't countless examples of you being a shitty person and scamming people, like, oh my god, I hate this shit. And keep an eye out for anyone that defends this fucking shit. Be wary of doing business with them as well, because chances are they're doing the same shit. They're either dumb or they're doing the same shit. The countless rumors and misunderstandings cannot be addressed by one, as public opinion can be overwhelming and destructive. Oh yeah, it's so negativity, dude. I hope that some individuals will refrain from making hurtful remarks about my family and friends. Do not harass his family and friends. Do not do business with them. Share the news. Do not harass anyone. And do not threaten anyone. Not worth it. Don't do it. Share this information with as many people as you can that might have or might do business with them in the future. I don't believe that he's actually going to like close up shop. And if he is selling other shit, there's a good chance that he's going to scam in some other hobby. We've seen it before. Scammers get caught somewhere. Maybe they get caught in sports cards. They get caught being a scammer. And then they move to Pokemon, and then they move to Yu-Gi-Oh, and then they move to Magic the Gathering, and then maybe they move to fucking plushies. I don't know. I guess they're already in the plushie game. Over matters that are neither meaningful nor conclusive. Whatever in any group, silence does not mean I am unaware. To those who follow the crowd and add insult to injury, I urge you to reflect on your actions. No, you fucking reflect on your actions. Fuck off. This is fucking... Just admit it and go the fuck away. I also hope that my departure may bring some solace to those who have been hurt. No, those who have been scammed. Not hurt. Scammed. It's so back and forth with like he's like half-ass admitting it, but then he's saying it's not true. I'm willing to sincerely accept all criticism and accountability. No, you're not. I will face the future with a repentant heart. Thank you all, Elijah. So, don't be this dickhead. Don't do business with this dickhead, in my opinion. I mean, you choose for yourself. Look at the information yourself. Feel free to dig in more. Feel free to do what you gotta do, but I just want to make sure that this is public information because it's in the best interest of the public. It's in the best interest of the hobby, and hopefully less of this shit goes on. There's a lot of money going on. There's a lot of scams. If you guys couldn't tell, there's just an absolute... It's the same as the pandemic. The scammers jump in when there's easy money to be made, when there's a lot of new people, and currently there are new people. Like, conveniently... This didn't happen to someone new, at least in terms of the swapping. So we got caught with it. But this is stuff that you need. You need to learn the dangers of the hobby. And everyone will be like, Rattle, you're so negative. Why are you always only covering the negative? This is so that new people, old people, anyone that's in the hobby can know what's going on, can know what to avoid, can know who to avoid, so that you don't get scammed. So that it's a better experience for everyone involved. Thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. Join the Discord. See you next time.